이번 주의 제목이 예비된 자들입니다.
So this week's title of the message is those who are prepared.
이게 발견 안 돼서 힘든 거죠.
So it's because life is difficult because we have not been able to discover
이게
this.
발견되어진다면 굉장히 기쁘고 즐겁게 살아갈 수 있는데
But
말이죠.
if we're able to discover this, we are able to live a joyous and happy life.
예비된 것을 못 찾기 때문에 방황을 하는 겁니다.
And because we're not able to discover the things that are prepared, we wander and we miss our goals.
예비된 것을 안다면 굳이 욕심 부릴 필요도 없지요.
But if we're able to know that something has prepared, then we don't have to be missing out on these things.
아침에 우리 백상호 집사와 이태성 집사와 같이 사우나를 갔다 왔어요.
So this morning I went to the sauna with Deacon Taesung and Deacon Beck.
다녀오면서 갔다 오고 가는 길에 그 윤태영에 대해서 얘기를 좀 했습니다. 윤태영.
So as we were going to the sauna, we were talking about this individual, Yu Taeyong.
예. 근데 이제 걔가 이제 경계성 지능 장애잖아요.
As you know, he's in the verge of this developmental disorder.
그러니까 이제 좀 깊이 있는 사고를 못 한단 말이죠.
Which means he's not able to have this deep thoughts.
얼마 전에 이 친구가 저 전화가 왔어요.
But recently I got a call from this from Taeyong.
예. 그러니까 공부를 해보니까 안 되는 거죠.
But because he has actually enrolled in college, but as he was still doing his academics, he was found difficulty.
예. 그러니까 하나도 못 알아듣겠다 그러더라고요.
And he told me, he confessed that he's not able to understand anything.
그래서 제가요 전화를 받으면서 이 친구가 왜 전화했느냐를 보니까 왜 했냐 물어보니까 이유가 있더라고요.
So then I asked him why he had called me, and there was a reason.
그러니까 공부가 안 되니까 또 미래 걱정이 되는 거예요.
And because he's not able to perform well in his academics, he was worried of his future.
그래서 1년 후의 얘기를 또 하는 거예요.
And now he's talking about his life after a year later.
졸업하고 난 다음에 뭐 어쩌고 저쩌고 뭐 또 뭐 자기 MMA 하고 싶은데 그러면서 또 뭐 아르바이트 하고 뭐 이런 얘기 계속 하는 거예요.
And now he was rambling on what he wanted to do after his graduation. He should work maybe part-time.
네, 그래서 제가 그랬습니다.
So I told him.
공부 열심히 해라.
I told him really study hard.
딴 생각하지 말고 1년 동안 공부 한번 해봐라.
I told him don't think about other things, but really focus on your studies.
지금 너에게 주어진 시간은 그 시간이니까 공부 좀 해라.
So again, that is your given time. So please do your best in what you have to
많이 힘들 거다.
I know. I told him it will be very difficult.
그래 네가 한 번도 그렇게 해본 적이 없으니까 한번 도전해봐라.
And I told him because you have never done this before, you should be able to do this challenge.
네, 문제는 뭐냐 하면 전 안 그래도 아까 백집사한테 얘기했지만 사람들이 이 친구를 모르는 거죠.
But the problem is I already told Deacon Beck about this, but people don't know about him.
예, 도와준다고 하는 것이 이 친구의 현실을 직시하게 못한 거죠.
But so what people had done to him is that even though it was their intent to help them, it prevented him from confronting his reality.
솔직히 말해서 허황된 꿈을 꾸게 한 거죠.
And actually, and really speaking the truth, they made him really dream of these futile things.
이 친구는 공부할 수 있는 지능이 아니에요.
And this kid, he really doesn't have the intellect to be able to study.
그럼 그게 잘못됐느냐?
But is that something wrong?
그렇지 않습니다.
No, it is not.
그게 그 친구에게 있는 예비된 겁니다.
But that is something that has been prepared for him.
그런데 우리는요, 이 친구를 막 뭐 공부시키고 뭐 해가지고 뭐 스스로 막 허황되게 만들어 버렸어요.
But people have made him futile, trying to give him things and this. And
그렇다면 인간으로서 하나님 자녀로서 살아갈 수 갈 길이 없느냐?
But does that mean there is no way for him to live as a child of God, as a human being?
있어요.
No, there is. Actually.
그거를 보여줘야 되는 거예요.
But we have to help him see that.
거기에 집중하게 해줘야 되는 거예요.
And we help him to be able to focus.
그리고 그 삶을 행복하게 가도록 만들어줘야 되는 거예요.
And really help him to be able to live his life to the fullest and happy.
그러니까 이 친구의 상태를 모르니까 도와준다고 하는 게 계속 근심하고 걱정하게 만들어 버렸어요.
And because they really did not know his true state, what they made him do is really be fearful of his future.
순간 얘기하다가 제가 화가 나버린 거예요.
But as I was talking about, it really made me angry.
차라리 모르면 안 하는 게 낫다.
Maybe if they had not, it was better off not doing anything. If they didn't know.
괜히 뭐 해준다고 하면서 아이 하나를요 인생 전체를 하나도 못하게 만들어 버렸어요.
And really trying to, their intention was to help him, but in the end, they made him too weak, so weak to the point he's not able to do anything in his life.
여러분 예비된 게 보여버리면 그렇게 평안합니다.
But if you are able to see that what has been prepared, you will be at peace.
욕심낼 것도 없고 허황될 것도 없고 가장 좋게 내게 주신 거 가지고 가는 거예요, 그냥.
Why? There's no reason for us to be greedy in greed and also be selfish, also in futile. We can go what we have.
효선 6탄.
This is the 6th series for Hyosan.
네, 우리 효선이가 많이 밝아졌어요.
You know, Hyosan has really brightened up a lot.
영어 선생님 아니 수학 선생님, 국어 선생님 감사합니다.
So really, all the rest of the teachers were really thanking us.
효선이가 얘기했어요.
And Hyosan, this is confession.
이제 조금 미래의 길이 보인다.
And Hyosan now confessed that now he's able to see his future a little bit.
어제 축구하는데요, 내 배 붙어가지고 완전 찰거머리처럼 떨어지질 않는 거예요.
So yesterday we played soccer, amongst ourselves now, and he really guarded me really well.
내가 공을 딱 제꼈는데 이 뭡니까? 발목을 걷어 차버렸어요.
And as I received the ball, he really kicked my ankles.
그러면서요, 내 옆에 붙어가지고 오는 공들 다 차단하는 거예요.
And now he wouldn't leave me alone, and he would cut off all the passes to me.
끈기가 있더라고, 끈기가.
And he had this really moxie.
네, 그래서 이제 마지막에 얘를요 확 밀어버렸지.
In the end, but last minute of the match, I pushed him down.
그러니까 팔로 민 게 아니고 몸으로.
Actually, I didn't push him with my hands.
네,
but
이거는 파울이 아니거든.
I body checked him pretty much.
네, 나가 떨어져 버렸어.
But then he fell to the ground.
그래 팔도 갈아버렸어.
And then I really braced his arm.
지금도 따끔거릴 겁니다.
I'm sure it's burning a little bit for him.
근데 그때 봤어요.
But then I saw him yesterday.
나는 얘가 끈기가 없는 줄 알았거든.
I don't know. I thought, he didn't have that pertinence.
운동을 같이 해보니까 알겠더라.
But as I saw him, I was able to see his.
그 끈기를 발견한 거예요.
I saw that pertinence in him.
되겠구나.
So I saw that it is going to
자기만
work.
조금만 마음을 담으면 되겠구나.
So if he's able to really embrace this in his heart, he will be able to push it through.
여러분 각자가 하나님께서 예비한 사람들.
But now today I want to remind you that each one individually, God has prepared you.
그게 보여져야 여러분 진짜 응답 받습니다.
But when you're able to see this, you will receive answers.
그게 안 보이면요, 여러분 진짜 인생 안 보여요.
But you're not able to see this, then you won't be able to see your life.
그 문제 보고 사건 보면서 나는 버림받았다고 착각하는 거예요.
But as we see our problems and our situations, we feel like we've been abandoned.
그리고 마음을 닫아버리고 생각을 닫아버리고요, 내 틀을 딱 만들어놓고 못 빠져나오는 거예요.
And you shut off everything, you close your hearts, your minds, and then you isolate yourself.
그게 흑암 역사.
But this is the work of darkness.
그러니까 예비됐다는 사실이 보여버리면 그렇게 행복하고 편한단 말이죠.
But if you're able to see that you have been prepared by God, then you will be able to experience that peace and
그게
joy.
발견될 때부터 응답이 시작되는 거예요.
And once you are able to discover this is when the answers will begin.
여러분 인사하세요.
So let's greet one another.
당신은 예비된
You
사람입니다.
are the one prepared by God.
형욱이 니 혼자 바이러스 안 걸리려고 그러지 지금. 예, 우리가 예비된 사람이에요.
So we are the people prepared
하나님이
by
세계
God.
복음화를 두고 예비된 사람이에요.
And with the world evangelization in mind, God has prepared us.
하나님이 안산을 두고 우리 교회를 예비하셨습니다.
And with Ansan in mind, God has prepared our church.
다민족을 살리고 렘넌트를 살리라고 우리를 예비하셨습니다.
And to really save the multi-ethnics and as well as the posterity.
여기 계신 분들 중에 안산 사람 10분의 1입니다.
So amongst here, the only true Ansan people here only are 1/10 of this church.
네, 왜 그러냐?
Why?
안산 살면 안 보여요.
Why? Because people actually living in Ansan cannot be able
안산
to see.
살지 않기 때문에 안산이 보이는 거예요.
Because people here are mostly outside from Ansan, they're able to see Ansan.
왜 우리가 모여야 되느냐?
So why should we be able to see Ansan?
이유는 하나입니다.
There's only one reason.
여러분 이 땅에는 반드시 다민족 제자가 있습니다.
Why? Because in this city, in this land, there is a multi-ethnic disciple.
그렇죠.
Visit this show.
여러분 안산을 그렇게 품어야 돼요.
So you have to really embrace Ansan in your hearts this way.
그래서 여러분 흑인들 지나가면 팍 째려보지 마시고 인사하셔야 돼요.
So if you go see our foreign workers around the streets, don't glare at them.
백인들 보면 와 하지 마서 복음 필요한 사람이다 이렇게 생각하세요.
But if you see Westerners, you only look up to them and you're amazed by them.
내 혼자서요 별 생각 다 하고 그럽니다.
But as you know, you're in your mind, as we walk, you have all these sorts of imaginations.
저와 여러분을 그렇게 예비하셨습니다.
But God has prepared you and I in this way.
이스라엘 백성이 출애굽했습니다.
As you know, the Israelites have exited from Egypt.
한 3개월 만에 시내산에
And
도착했습니다.
now they have arrived at Mount Sinai in about 3 months.
거기서 하나님이 모세에게 십계명을 주셨습니다.
And there at Mount Sinai, God gives them the 10 Commandments.
이유가 뭡니까?
What was the reason for this?
구별된 자이기 때문에.
To really remind them that they have been set apart.
언약 백성이기 때문에.
And they are the people of the covenant.
그리고 하나님의 뜻을 이루고 세계를 살려야 되기 때문에.
And they are the people who will fulfill God's will and save, revive the world.
그러면서 성막을 지으라고 명령하셨어요.
And he orders them to build the tabernacle.
그러면서 하신 말씀이 안식일을 지켜라.
And also then what he said, ordered them to do is to keep the Sabbath day.
쉽게 말하면 예배 회복해라.
Simply put, it means to restore worship.
예배 회복한 삶이 되라.
And there is that life of restored worship.
그게 시작이다.
And that is the true beginning for you.
그것 때문에 뭐 합니까?
And because of this, what do?
자기들이 가져온 모든 예물을 자원하여 기쁜 마음으로 드립니다.
And so the Israelites, when they heard they needed to build the tabernacle, they came with the volunteering hearts, with all their precious
이유를 알은 거죠.
things. And they knew the reason.
그리고 자기들이 가지고 있는 것이 왜 가지고 있는지를 알은 거죠.
And they understood why the things they had in possession, they had in possession.
그러니까 억지로가 아니라 기쁨으로 드린
So
거예요.
they did not offer their offerings reluctantly, but they gave in joy.
이유를 아는 사람은 그렇습니다.
So people who know the reason are able to give this offering. In joy.
그러면서 오늘은 뭡니까?
So that's why today, what is the title of the message?
브살렐과 오홀리압을 택하는 겁니다.
And so God orders Oholiab and the individuals.
예, 이들을 택해서 뭐 하셨어요?
What did God do choosing these men?
직접 성막과 그 기구들을 만들게 하셨어요.
God directly gives them instruction of making the things for the tabernacle.
하나님이 이들을 직접 뽑으신 겁니다.
So God just directly selected these individuals.
여러분을 하나님이 직접 뽑으신 겁니다.
And so God has directly chosen you.
이게 확인이 안 되면 결국은 무너집니다.
If you're not able to really confirm this, you will break down.
이게 확인되면 내가 어떤 환경과 조건 속에 있달지라도 반드시 승리하게 되어 있습니다.
But if you're able to really confirm this, regardless of what situation you are in, you will be victorious.
그게 발견되어져야 되는 거예요.
This must be discovered in your
그게
life.
흔들리니까 무너지는 거예요.
But because we are not truly confirmed in this, that's why we break down.
그렇죠. 여러분 속에 정말로 하나님이 나를 예배하셨구나. 이 답이 났다면 이미 기도가 시작되게 되어 있습니다.
So if in your inside, within yourselves, come to the conclusion, oh, God has really prepared me, then you will begin that answer.
이게 안 되면 여러분 실제 감사 없습니다.
So, but if you're not able to really discover this, you don't have that genuine thanksgiving.
진짜 응답 안 보입니다.
And you won't be able to see that genuine answer.
나는 늘 부족하다고 느낍니다.
And you will always feel that you are inadequate.
그리고 행복 없습니다.
And you will not have that happiness.
행복하지가 않아요.
You will not be truly joyful.
그러니까 그 상태로 계속 그냥 몸부림치는 것밖에 안 돼요.
But all is then life will be a struggle for you, constant.
그래서 저와 여러분들을 하나님이 정말로 예비하셨다는 것을 확인하셔야 돼요.
So you and I really must confirm that God has really prepared us.
아멘입니까?
Can you sing an element to this?
저는 복음 깨닫고 이게 확인되니까 너무 좋은 거예요.
So after really listening, accepting the gospel, and I was able to confirm this, I was so happy.
그때부터 우리 부모님 보는 눈이 달라졌어요.
And from then on, I was able to see my parents differently.
부모님을 사랑하게 됐어요.
I came to love my parents
예, 그때부터.
from then on.
저는 제가 저를 사랑하게 됐어요.
And I was able to really love myself and my family.
그리고 내가 하는 일에 하나님이 기뻐하신다는 확신들이 왔어요.
And I had this really assurance that what I do really pleases God.
예배된 자에게 하나님이 반드시 역사합니다.
And because God really truly works in those people He has prepared.
그래서 여러분 몸부림치지 마시고 확인하시라.
So that's why don't struggle, but just confirm.
이게 확인되면 끝나는 거예요.
And when you are able to really confirm this, it will all end.
응답 받으시기 바랍니다.
So I pray that you receive these answers.
그래서 세 가지 꼭 확인하십시다.
So let us confirm 3 things.
첫 번째입니다.
First,
과거를 준비하신 하나님.
So God who has prepared your past.
여러분 내 과거를 준비하셨어요.
So God has prepared your past.
이게 확인되어져야 돼요.
This must be confirmed in your life.
브살렐은 누구 아들입니까?
So who was Bezalel? Whose son was he?
훌의 아들입니다. 훌의
He was-
손자입니까?
He was a son of Hur.
예, 훌의 손자요 우리의 아들입니다.
So he was actually son of Uri, son of Hur.
훌이 누굽니까?
Who was Hur?
예, 모세가 아말렉과 싸울 때 한 손은 누가 여호수아가 한 손은 훌이 들고 서 있었어요.
So actually, Hur was the individual when the Israelites were fighting against the Amalekites. He was the one who really supported
모세가 손이
Moses' arm.
내려가면은 아말렉이 이기고 모세가 손이 올라가면 이스라엘이 이기는 거예요.
So it was actually when it was a battle when Moses was able, when he kept his hands up, the Israelites won the battle, started winning the battle. But when he raised down, they were losing it.
그러니까 사람이 손을 들고 혼자 몇 시간씩 못 서 있잖아요.
But can you imagine? Was Moses able to raise up his hand, maintain that position for long hours?
그러니까
No.
모세를 앉혀놓고 한 손은 여호수아가 딱 들고 있고
So that's why when they had him had Moses sit down and they supported his
한
arm.
손은 훌이 돼.
So the other hand was supported by Joshua, and the other one was supported by Hur.
그러니까 이게요 승리할 수밖에 없어요.
So in the end, the Israelites were able to win the battle.
그 훌의 손자입니다.
So Hur was the one that. So this individual was the grandson of Hur.
여러분 무슨 말 합니까?
So what is this really implying?
하나님이 오늘 이 시간 브살렐을 뽑기 이전부터 준비하셨다.
So what does this indicate? This means that God really has prepared long before ages to prepare
저는
Bezalel.
불신자 가족입니다.
So as for me, I was born into a non-believing family.
희한하게 하나님이 저를 어릴 때부터 교회 다니게
But
하셨어요.
really strangely enough, God had made me go to church at a young age.
예, 하나님이 다
And
준비하셨어요.
God has prepared everything.
그러니까 이 준비되고 예비됐다는 이 말이요, 내 인생 전체를 회복시켜 버렸어요.
And really this preparing my life was really my entire life.
나는 어릴 때부터 우울증이 있었어요.
And as a young child, I had depression.
예, 몰랐는데
I did not know it back
지나고
then.
보니까 우울증이 있는.
But looking back, it was depression.
그러니까 사는 게 왜 사나 이런 고민이었어요.
Because even as a young kid, I questioned what about the meaning of life.
그러니까 사람을 어떻게 사람을 이해해야 되지 도대체 이해가 안 되는 거예요.
And I wasn't able to really understand how to understand other people.
그러니까 마음 닫고 생각 닫고 내 틀에 갇혀 살아가는 거예요. 그냥.
So I was trapped in my own thoughts, my own framework, and my heart closed.
하는 것마다 안 되는 거예요. 하는
So
거.
everything I did just failed.
사는 게 재미 하나도 없어요.
And really living my life there was no joy.
그런데
It wasn't
이게요
fun.
전부 하나님이 예비하신 거예요.
But all these things God has
복음
prepared.
깨닫고 나니 저에게는 굉장히 중요한 응답들이 다 와
But
있는 거예요.
after really realizing the gospel, all these have turned into important answers.
겉으로 볼 때는 어둡고 컴컴한 굴을 확 지나가는데 그 안에 하나님이 축복을 다 예비해 놓은 거예요.
But even though our outer appearance was dark and gloomy, but really as I came into the gospel, this has become the answers. to the
남들이
blessing.
모르는 아픔을 갖고 살아가는데 그 속에 하나님의 축복을 하나님이 다 예비해 놓은 거예요.
And even though I was living with all the pain and scars that people wasn't really realized, all these became answers and blessings.
그리스도의 빛이 쫙 비치니까 그 응답들이 다 보이는 거예요.
And when the light of Christ shined upon these pain, it all became answers to me.
그때 깨달았어요.
And then I realized,
아, 발버둥 칠 이유가 없구나.
then, there's no reason for me to struggle.
노력해야 될 이유가 없구나.
And there's no reason for me to make that effort.
예, 하나님이 다 예비하셨구나.
Why? Because God has prepared everything.
그거 발견하는 것이 삶이구나.
So really discovering these one by one is our life.
그거 보는 것이 믿음이구나.
And being able to see this is faith.
하나님이 예비하신 길을 보는 것이 이게 도전이구나.
And being able to see that prepared path before me is really the challenge.
그러니까요, 축복이 싹 다 회복되는 거예요.
So that's why all these blessings were restored to me.
저와 여러분의 과거를 하나님이 준비하셨습니다.
So that's why God has prepared your past.
그 어둡고 캄캄한 그 상처를 하나님이 준비하셨습니다.
And that really suffering-filled and that pain-filled past has been prepared by God.
내만 가진 고질적인 영적 문제를 하나님이 준비하셨습니다.
And even that really stubborn spiritual problem that you only yourself know, God has prepared.
그렇게 답답하고 캄캄한 가정을 준비하셨습니다.
and that frustrating and that really dark family background that God has prepared that for you as well.
그게 하나님의 방법이에요.
That is God's method.
하나님은 버리지 않고 함께 계셨습니다.
But God did not abandon me, but He was with me.
그리고 나를 복음 깨닫게 하셔서 그것이 전부 발판되고 축복되게 하셨어요.
And God had given the great grace to really realize the gospel, and that has become a pedestal in my life.
그거 가지고 사람 살리고 현장 살리고 시대를 살리라고.
And with this, God has really instructed me to save the field, the age, and the world.
여러분 다시 인사하세요.
So let us greet one another again.
당신을 하나님이 예비하셨습니다.
God has prepared you.
이게 정말로 믿어진다면 이미 모든 축복을 받고 있는 겁니다.
So if you are truly able to believe in this, you are already receiving answers and all
이게
blessings.
안 믿어진다면 나는 또 오늘 막 몸부림쳐야 돼요.
But if you're not able to believe this, then you have no choice but to struggle again.
하나님은 살아계십니다.
But God is truly living,
우리와 함께 계십니다.
and He is with us,
우리 길을 예비하셨습니다.
and He has prepared our path.
그렇죠.
Isn't
여러분
this so?
이게 우리의 신앙생활이요 삶이에요.
And this is our Christian life and Christian walk.
그러니 그 응답 속에 있으면 되는 거예요.
And all we have to do is be in this answer.
잘하려고 할 필요 없습니다.
So there's no reason for us to try to do well.
맞냐 틀리냐 할 필요 없어요.
And there's no reason for us to really judge whether it is right or wrong.
맞을 수도 있고 틀릴 수도 있는
Of
거예요.
course, all the things, the opinions can be right or
실수할
wrong.
수도 있고 성공할 수도 있는 거예요.
And all we can make mistakes, we can succeed and or
그거
fail.
다 지나갑니다.
But these will all pass.
나라고 하는 걸 못 넘어가면 묶이는 거예요.
But if you are not able to overcome yourself, then you will be tied.
그렇죠. 하나님이 예비하신 것으로 보여진다면 그건 전부 하나님의 뜻을 이루는 굉장히 중요한 응답이 되는 거예요.
But if you're able to see that all these things have been prepared by us, these will become a true answers to us.
우리 예나가 그 분양 사업에 대해서 이야기하더라고요.
So Yena was talking about our dog breeding industry.
예. 그래서 자기는 이 분양 샵에 있는 사람들을 살리고 싶다.
And she had confessed that she really wants to save the people involved in this industry.
그걸 놓고 하나님이 나를 준비하신 것 같다.
And she confessed that God has prepared me to really save this people.
예. 그 동네 사람들 살리고 싶대요.
And she says she wants to really be able to save the type of people involved in this industry.
다 죽었어요. 이제.
And she says, well, get ready.
예비된 하나님의 사람.
So she is the really individual prepared by God.
정말로 예비됐다면 두 번째입니다.
So that if God has really prepared all these things, number two,
성령 충만 받아야 돼요.
so we have to receive the filling of the Holy Spirit.
성령 충만 받은 상태여야 돼요.
And we have to be in the state of being filled by the Holy
여러분
Spirit.
이게 굉장히 중요한 시작입니다.
And this is a true important beginning.
영세 전에 나를 예비하신 게 맞다면 하나님 반드시 성령 충만 주시게 되어 있습니다.
So if it is true that God has called us long before the ages, we are bound to receive the Holy Spirit.
노력해서 받는 게 아닙니다.
So we cannot receive this Holy Spirit with our own
하나님은
efforts,
주시겠다고 약속하셨습니다.
but rather God has prepared to grant this promise.
이제 성령 충만은 뭔가 이상한 능력 아닙니다.
So the filling of the Holy Spirit isn't something strange.
예, 내게 걸리지 않는 것이 있다면 걸리는 것이 없다면 나는 이미 성령 충만 받은 거예요.
But the state of Holy Spirit is where you were really not caught up in anything.
성령 충만은 약속으로 받는 겁니다.
And so Holy Spirit is able to we're able to receive it by the promise.
그래서 하나님은 가장 중요하게 성령 충만을 약속하셨어요.
So most importantly, God has promised the filling of the Holy Spirit.
말세 남녀 여정에게 내 영을 부어주겠다.
And God has promised that He will pour out His Spirit at the end times to those young and old.
예, 예수님도 말씀하셨습니다.
Even Jesus has mentioned this.
예루살렘을 떠나지 말고 하나님 아버지가 약속하신 그 성령 받을 때까지 기다려라.
But so God, even Jesus promised that not to leave Jerusalem to really receive that promised Holy Spirit,
너희가 몇 날이 못 되어 받을 것이다.
and in soon time you will receive the Holy Spirit.
오직 성령 임하면 그 능받고 증인될 것이다.
And if only Holy Spirit comes upon you, you will become my witnesses.
이 언약 붙잡고 기도했는데 그 마가다라 방에 성령이 충만하게 맺버린 겁니다.
And when they held on to this covenant and they prayed, then after they were filled with the Holy Spirit in the Mark's upper room.
그게 교회의 시작이에요.
And this was the beginning of the church.
그게 전도의 시작입니다.
And this is the beginning of evangelism.
그래서 바울은 가는 곳마다 성령 충만의 역사를 일으킨 거예요.
That's why everywhere where Paul went, he was able to really make this work.
저와 여러분에게 주신 축복입니다.
So this is the blessing that God has given to you and I.
여러분 진짜 이 응답 속에 내가 있다면 하나님은 하십니다.
So if we truly remain in this answer, God will do His works.
저도 옛날에 이게 무슨 말인지 못 알아듣겠더라고요.
So in the past, I really wasn't able to understand what this meant.
이게 도대체 무슨 말이지?
What is this truly?
충만이라는 단어는 알겠는데 이게 무슨 느낌인지 무슨 맛인지 모르겠는
So
거예요. 이게.
I knew what this filling of the Holy Spirit meant, but I wasn't able to really
그러니까
know
여러분을
what it
제가
really meant.
이해한다니까요.
So I really I'm able to relate to you.
저도 막 헤맬 때가 있었어요.
So there was a time where I really struggled as well.
막 주체할 수 없는 화가 날 때도
And
있었어요.
there was a time where I wasn't able to control this anger because of this
제가
frustration.
얘기했잖아요. 성식 5번 찢었다고.
So I told you that I have ripped apart 5 Bibles.
더 이상 안 하고 싶다 찢어버렸다니까.
That's why I wanted to give up. That's why I ripped apart the Bible.
그런 과정을 거쳐가고 있습니다 지금.
So as you know, you all are going through that same phase.
그런데 하나님의 시간표에 하나님 반드시 성령을 충만하게 주시겠다고 약속하셨다.
But God, in His right time, promised to give us this filling of the Holy Spirit.
예, 언제 성령 충만할 수 있냐?
So when can we be filled with the Holy Spirit?
그리스도가 발견되면 돼요.
When we are able to discover Christ.
여러분 진짜 그리스도가 발견되면 성령 충만할 수
If
있어요.
you're truly able to discover Christ, then you will truly be filled with the Holy Spirit.
그러면 나도 모르게 내가 집중이 돼요.
Then you yourself not being aware, you will be able to concentrate.
집중하고 싶은 게 아니고 집중 상태가 회복이 돼요.
It's not you want to try to concentrate, but you yourself, regardless of your effort, you will restore that state.
그 증거가 뭐냐? 흑암이 꺾여버려요.
As an evidence, the darkness will be broken down.
다시 말하면 나를 두렵게 하고 불안케 하는 모든 것들이 없어져 버립니다.
And really, again, simply put, all the things that make you fearful and anxious will all break down and driven away.
이상하게 믿음이 생겨요.
And strangely, faith begins to be restored.
나는 아니라고 생각하는데 내 속에서 믿음이 확 생겨요.
And even though you try to deny it, this faith will really grow. And
그 현장에 가면 하나님이 일하시는 게 보여요.
when you go to that field, you'll be able to see the work of
그
God.
사람을 만나면 하나님 일하시는 게 보여요.
And when you really meet that person, you'll be able to see God working in that
그러니까 내가
person.
하는 게 하나도 없는 거예요, 사실.
Then in the end, ultimately, there's nothing that I am doing.
성령이 처음부터 끝까지 역사해 버려요.
Why? Because the Holy Spirit works from the beginning to the end.
막 귀신 떠나가고 뭐 이런 얘기 하는 거 아닙니다.
So I'm not talking about driving out demons,
그 정도로 비교 안 돼요.
but it's uncomparable to these.
내 안에 힘이 생긴다는 거예요.
But really, this power is revived within,
내 안에 믿음이 생긴다는 거예요.
and the faith really is revived within.
이게 굉장한 비밀이에요.
So this is a really tremendous mystery.
누가 뭐래도 내 길을 갈 수 있는 굉장한 비밀이 생기는 거예요.
So no matter what other people say, you really are able to possess that mystery where you're able to go your own path.
그러니까 사람이 겁나지가 않죠.
So that you won't be fearful of other people.
예. 여러분 진짜 이 힘이 회복돼야 돼요.
So if you're truly able to restore this power,
그 어떤 것도 문제가 안 된다.
so nothing, whatever that may be, will become a problem to you.
모든 것이 응답이다.
Because all things are answers.
이게 보여야 돼요.
You should be able to see this.
가는 곳마다 확인돼야죠.
And wherever you go, you are able to confirm.
그게 사도행전 역사입니다.
And this is the work of the Acts.
그러니까 사도행전 역사 속에 내가 살아가고 있다니까.
So in the end, you'll see yourself your life being
여러분
in
삶이
the book of
그렇게 돼야
Acts.
됩니다.
And you'll be able to see that your life is contained
사도행전
in Acts.
성경 그 옛날 2000년 전의 얘기가 아니라 지금 동일하게 주의 성령이 충만한 자를 통하여 지금도 역사하고
So
계십니다.
the book of Acts isn't something that happened only happened 2,000 years ago, but actually it is still in continuation in our
그러니
lives.
얼마나 감사합니까?
So that, can you imagine how thankful we can be?
그러니까 내 생각이 필요 없어요.
So that's why we don't need our own personal
내
thoughts.
방법이 필요 없다니.
And we don't have to really be stubborn about our own methods.
내 계획이 필요 없어요.
And we really don't need our own plan.
하나님이 일하시면 되는 거예요.
Because all it takes is God really working in our lives.
그 상태가 성령 충만.
So that state is the filling of the Holy Spirit.
똑같은데 사람 사는 건 똑같은데 역사가 달라요.
So even though we live the same life, but the works are different.
더 경건하고 더 아닙니다.
So it's not about being more holy, trying to be stand out from others.
죄를 덜 짓고 아닙니다.
It's not about sinning less.
똑같은데 달라요.
Even though we live the same life, but we are different.
그래서 그 힘이에요.
But it is about that power.
그 응답 받으셔요.
And we have to receive this answer.
그래야 여러분 가정을 회복시키고 현장을 살릴 수 있는 거예요.
So that's why we will be able to restore our family and also save the field.
세 번째입니다.
Thirdly,
그러면 어떻게 해야 됩니까?
so what must we do?
마음이 지혜로워야 돼요.
Our hearts must be wise.
이거는 이제 우리가 감당해야 될 응답입니다.
So this is the answer that we must bear and accommodate.
예배된 자가 맞고 성령이 충만하는 것이 맞다면 내 마음이 지혜로워야 돼요.
So if we are truly a people who have been prepared and really people of the Holy Spirit, we should be wise.
여기에 성령의 인도입니다.
And this is really when Holy Spirit comes
이것이
upon us.
내 체질돼 버려요.
And when this becomes my nature,
그리고 반드시 이를 성공시켜내야 돼요.
and we must absolutely be able to succeed our work.
반드시 이를 성공시켜낼 수 있는 비밀이 가지고 있어야 돼요.
And we must be able to have the mystery to be able to make that work successful.
응답을 축복으로 바꿀 수 있는 비밀이 내게 있어야 돼요.
And we must possess the mystery to be able to change this answer to a blessing.
그 현장을 반드시 살려낼 수 있는 비밀이 내게 있어야 돼요.
And we must possess the mystery to be able to revive that field.
그 일을 성공시킬 수 있는 비밀이 내게 있어야 돼요.
And also possess the mystery to be able to succeed our work and occupation.
그게 이제 우리의 몫이에요.
That is our lot.
그게 기도입니다.
And that is prayer then.
마음이 지혜로워야 돼요.
So our hearts must be wise.
아무도 안 가르쳐 주는데 하늘에서부터 이 응답이 내게 와야 됩니다.
And even though no one is able to teach you, this answer must come down from the heavens.
7 렘넌트가 그랬습니다.
This is what the 7 remnants were able to do.
요셉이 보디발의 집에 밭을 책임질 때부터 하나님이 축복해 버렸어요.
And when Joseph was able to take charge of the fields of his Potiphar, God really worked.
그러면 요셉은 가만히 있었느냐? 그렇지 않습니다.
Does that mean Joseph stayed put? No.
요셉은 그 밭에서 하나님의 일하심과 자기의 모든 기술들이 같이 가는 거예요.
And in that field, he was able to really use all his skills, also see God's really abiding in his life.
응답 받으시기 바랍니다.
So I pray that you receive this answer.
다윗은 똑같은 목동인데 달랐어요.
So even David, even though he was the same shepherd as the rest of the Israelites,
그렇죠.
shepherds,
최고의 목동에다가 최고의 하나님의 사람이에요.
but he was actually the best shepherd, but also the best man of God.
이 응답을 받으셔야 돼요.
You have to receive this answer.
그러니까 여러분이 손대는 것마다 하나님이 일하시고 내 안에 뭔가 다른 비밀이 있어야 돼요.
So everything you touch, you must really be able to possess that mystery and really see the different works of God take place.
이렇게 하셔서 성막을 짓게 하셨다.
And that's why God, with this special skills that they possessed, God had made them build the tabernacle.
여러분 이게 굉장히 중요합니다.
And again, I remind you how important this is.
우리 힘으로 살아갈 수 없습니다.
So really, we're not able to live our lives with our own power.
예, 이렇게 얘기하면 답답할 수 있겠죠.
I know these words may frustrate you,
그런데 맞습니다.
but this is the truth. This is
우리
correct.
힘으로 할 수 있는 게 아무것도
There's
없습니다.
nothing we can do by our own method and strength.
그래서 하나님이 영세전에 예배하신 거예요.
That's why God has prepared all these things long
그리고
before the ages.
하나님이 충만하게 함께 계신 거예요.
And in abundancy, God is with us. In
그리고
fullness.
완벽하게 인도해 가시는 거예요.
And God is in perfection guiding our lives.
내 모든 전인격과 내 모든 사상과 내 체질과 내 감각과 모든 것을 통하여 하나님이 일을 할 수 있도록.
So by our own entirety, our full being, our ideology, our nature, and all senses really working together to be.
지금은 잘 몰라도 조금씩 하나님이 문을 열어가실 겁니다.
But even though you may not able to sense it now, God is opening up the doors bit by bit.
그 속에 내가 있다면 우리는 이미 서밋입니다.
If we are in this flow, then we are the summits.
예, 가정의 서밋입니다.
We are the summits in our family.
그래서 여러분 결론적으로 말씀드립니다.
So I want to talk to you in conclusion.
여러분이 이 상태가 됐다면 나도 모르게 이미 그 현장을 장악했습니다.
So if we are truly in this state, you yourself, without knowing, have conquered that field.
어떻게 할 수 있습니까?
Then what can we do?
가보면 알아요.
That you will know once you are there.
희한하게 하나님이 모든 것들을 나를 중심으로 움직이게 하신다는 걸 알아요.
And really, strangely enough, God really, you'll be able to see that God is moving all things, really you at the center.
우리 렘넌트를 놓고 기도하시기 바랍니다.
So I ask you to pray for our young remnants here.
예, 우리 렘넌트들이 초등신학원을 다닙니다.
So now our young remnants have recently enrolled in our children's elementary evangelism institute.
뭐 쉽게 말하면 우리 울타리 안에 있다가 이제 다른 울타리로 들어간 거.
And now, where they were within our boundary, now they have went into a different boundary.
세상을 더 보게 되는 거죠.
And God has, they are now being able to see the world more.
그렇죠. 근데 거기에 등록된 아이의 반이 우리 교회 아이들이에요.
But it turns out the enrollment, half of the enrollment turned out to be us, our church.
분위기가 살아나겠죠.
And of course, then you're able to imagine the
그렇죠.
entire atmosphere.
안 그렇습니까?
Can you not imagine it?
예. 그런데다가 우리 아이들 보고 선생님들이 놀랐어요.
And the teachers there were surprised to see our children.
오늘 아침에도 내가 여기 고함 친다고 내가 뭐라 했거든.
But this morning, I actually yelled at our kids for yelling too loud.
교회에서 왜 고함 치냐고 내가 뭐라 했거든.
And I really reprimanded them, saying, "Why are you screaming in the church?"
놀아도 고함은 치지 마세요, 우리
So,
렘넌트들.
remnants, please don't scream even when you play.
저 맥도날드 가면 써놨습니다.
As you know, if you go to a
No
McDonald's,
screaming.
in McDonald's, it says no screaming.
어디 가도 왜 고함 치지 마세요. 그거는
So
진짜.
wherever you go, please do not scream.
근데 이 아이들이요, 거기서 빛이 나는
But
거예요.
regardless of this, these kids really shine at the Evangelism Institute.
그러니까 담임 목사 마음이 얼마나 감사하고
You
기쁘고
know
행복한지.
how I felt so encouraged and happy about.
나가서 칭찬 받으니까요, 괜히 어깨가 올라가잖아요.
And as you know, when our kids were really complimented, I felt really proud of my
근데
kids.
그 교회가 내가 그분을 다락방하는 교회예요.
So actually, the head of the center of that church is actually the wife of the pastor who I do 다락방.
이번 주 목요일 다락방이 기대가 됩니다.
So I look forward to our meeting this Thursday.
그러니까 하나님이요, 이런 아이를 예비하셨어.
So God has prepared our young remnants here.
오늘도 욕먹었는데 얘들은 성령 충만한 거예요.
But even though they have been scolded by me, they are still filled by the Holy Spirit.
그러니까 그 초등신학원에 가서 이제는 뭐냐, 그 속에서 응답받으면 다른 역사가 시작되겠죠.
So when now they're enrolled in this evangelism institute, if they are able to receive answers, they'll
이
receive
축복
answers.
속에 있다면 이미 서밋입니다.
So if they remain, they are in this blessing, they are already the summits.
하나만 하시면 돼요.
So all you have to do is one thing.
소통하시면 돼요.
All you have to do is communicate.
여러분 일 잘하려고 하지 말고 소통하시면 돼요.
So don't try to be good at your job, but communicate.
요 상태가 됐는데 소통이 안 된다? 그러면 거짓말입니다.
But then if you say you have reached this state, but you are not able to communicate, then that is all lying.
뭐 뭔지 아시겠죠?
Do you understand what I'm trying
요
to say?
상태가 되는데 마음이 안 열린다? 거짓말입니다.
But if you have reached the state, but you're not able to open up your heart, that is all a lie.
요 상태가 되는데 내 틀이 안 깨진다? 거짓말입니다.
And even though you have become the state, but you're not able to open up your state, that is all lying.
요 상태가 됐는데 여러분 실제로 관계가 회복 안 된다? 거짓말입니다.
But let's say you have really able to reach the state, but you're not able to restore your relationship, that is all a lie.
내가 막 뭐 처세술을 세워가지고 이래보고 저래보고 이걸 얘기하는 게 아니에요.
I'm not talking about trying to having this craftsman this way to please other people.
막힐 것이 없다.
What I'm trying to say is that really there's nothing that will enslave you.
나를 지키려고 몸부림칠 이유가 없다.
There's no reason for us to struggle to protect ourselves.
내 것을 챙기려고 욕심 피울 필요가 없다.
And there's no reason to be selfish to really gain something out of other things.
네, 소통하시면 돼요.
So all it takes is to really communicate.
여러분 우리는 정말로 소통 속에 있어야 돼요.
So we really must remain in communication.
그러면 다 회복됩니다.
Then all the remaining things will be restored.
승리하시기를 주님의 이름으로 축원합니다.
So I bless you in the name of the Lord to be victorious.
오늘은 역대급으로 빨리 마칩니다.
So I think this is really another record for me. To finish
살아계신
really
하나님 감사합니다.
Living God, we truly thank you.
우리를 예배한 자로 불러주심을
Thank you for
감사합니다.
calling us as the prepared ones.
이 시대 성막 만드는 일에 성령 충만한 은혜가 있게 하여 주옵소서.
Lord, may be their grace to be truly filled by the Holy Spirit as we build the tabernacle of this age.
주의 성령의 세밀한 인도 속에 있게 하여 주옵소서.
May we be in the midst of your really specific guidance.
더 이상 흑암이 역사하지 못한 소통 속에 있게 하여 주옵소서.
And may we be in the communication where the darkness cannot be can interrupt.
현장을 정복하고 다스리는 전도의 축복 속에 있게 하여 주옵소서.
May we be in the blessing of the evangelism where we are able to conquer and rule over the field.
예수 그리스도의 이름으로
In
기도드립니다.
Jesus Christ's name we pray.
아멘.